Let's get to it. All right, you ready? All right, let's go. What's happening, everybody? I'd like to welcome you out to the first. What's up, everybody? I'd like to welcome you out to the episode 1 of Upclose Life Podcast. And give them a round of applause. You know, I've been doing a whole lot of stuff behind the scenes for a lot of other folks, and figured it was time to go ahead and step up and do something like this here to kind of bring everything together. Give you a little quick introduction. I'm Jay. That's all you need to know. Those who know me know more. Rest of y'all, get to know me. Let's have a conversation. That's what this is. I don't even want to call it a podcast. I want to call it a conversation because that's what we're going to be doing, having a conversation. We're going to talk about different topics, different things, and I like audience participation. I want y'all to be a part of it. I want y'all to join in. I want, when we start bringing up stuff, bring questions. You know, I'll have pretty soon set up where you can call in or you can be a guest on the show if you'd like to. All right. This first episode, though, what I want to do first before I get really going is I want to kind of tell you a little bit about me. You know, like I said again, I'm Jay. I am a complex individual. I am a human. I believe in nuanced conversation, and that's what this is about. We're going to talk about everything from, you know, like some say, from the righteous to the ratchet. We're going to talk about, you know, things that push a little bit of buttons. This is not to try to be controversial, but trust me, it probably is going to get there because, like I said, I'm human. Got conflicting views on some stuff, got some thoughts on different things. We're going to bring all this out, and I want y'all to bring it out with me as well, too. I want y'all to participate. Send your questions, send your comments. We're going to get started. Now, first things first. Today, some of the stuff that we're going to run down is going to be about, you know, just so you know the way that this will always flow is we're going to talk about some societal stuff. We're going to talk about some entertainment stuff. We're going to talk about some crazy stuff, some life things, sports, and then, of course, I always want to end with something good, a human interest thing, because I think we need more positivity. We got to get to the point where we as a people, and that is all people, become understanding that there needs to be more good. All right? Now, if you haven't realized yet, yes, I'm a black dude, so some of the stuff will be skewed towards the things that I see and the way I see it. So, first things first, though. All right, these boycotts, man. I get a little upset and I get a little pissed off about some things because, and by the way, excuse me, mama and all, and pastors and everybody else and all the people who've been instrumental in me having this great life and prosperous and blessed and highly favored life. I may say some things that you would be shocked. So just clutch your pearls and act like you didn't see that part. But anyway, boycotts. There have been boycotts of all kinds of stuff, all right? You know, now, when we start talking about real world boycotts, there's only been a few that are really, I mean, we know about the boycott that Americans did against the British and dumping the tea in the harbor, which, you know, side note, very funny that the Patriots are named after this, you know, but the NFL doesn't understand boycotts, but they're probably number one team for the last 15 years. It's named after it. But anyway, we're not going to get into that. We're going to talk about these other boycotts, some of these stupid ones. First, let me tell you about some of the best ones. All right, the Montgomery Boys boycott. For those who don't know, that was 1955, Rosa Parks. Everybody knows the whole Rosa Parks stuff. You know, I ain't getting up. You know, you need to get up so she can sit, so this other person can sit down. I'm not getting up. The reason for boycotts was always about flexing financial understanding. All right, you don't value us, so we will block your money. We will take our money elsewhere and stop your money. So when people were sitting in for the Montgomery Boys boycott, it was a real boycott that was difficult for a lot of people because guess what that meant? That meant your grandma, that meant Nana, that meant everybody else had to get out and walk because they refused to ride the bus to show that they were more important, their dollar, their humanity, the understanding of them was way more important than anything else. And so if that meant that they had to sacrifice for a little bit, that's what they were going to do. And they were going to sacrifice. That meant they walked to work. And remember, the bus boycott did not last. It wasn't no 3-day thing. It wasn't no hashtag. It wasn't none of that. All right. This lasted a long time. and it got the point across, because what it did was it crippled their services. They had to realize how much they relied on the black dollar. So then you had the sit-ins at the restaurants and stuff like that. People pouring water on you. People dumping all kinds of junk all on you. People sitting up there. You sitting at the counter. And you have to think about this. You got to think a little bit deeper than this here. They weren't sitting there just to say, hey, we're black, you're going to serve us. They didn't want to be served. That's not what they were there for. They sat there to say that we're not going to buy anything. And on top of that, you're not going to be able to sell anything to anybody else. You know why? Because we're here. Until you begin to respect us and understand who we are and value us, you won't make a dime. And that was a huge thing. That hurt. That made people so angry and so pissed off and so mad that, of course, they began to crowd into these places that they probably wouldn't go to. They began dumping sodas and everything else on them. They began calling the cops and sicking dogs and dragging people out, until finally they realized, well, these people aren't moving there and caring. Well, maybe we should try and listen to them. So then they started listening to them, and it took policy. There was an energy, there was something behind the whole boycott thing. It was a policy-driven thing, agenda. We're going to make sure that these people know that we mean business. You want our dollar as a collective, all of us, then you're going to treat all of us the exact same way. That means I deserve to go to a Denny's and have my food come out crappy and horrible just as much as somebody else does, because I want equality. All right? That doesn't mean I want my food to be better than the next person. That you bring me them same old soggy pancakes out just like you would for anybody else, and you do it with a smile on your face. That's what equality is. But I digress. We'll move on. So, happen to, open up my third favorite medium, which is social media. And look at, and we'll get into what the other two are, but, and I noticed something. This boycott Keurig. And it's a whole bunch of people who already have Keurigs, playing golf with them, throwing them off of buildings, doing all this other kind of stuff. And I don't want to use a gross misgeneralization and say that all these people were, a certain demographic of people, but they all seem to resemble. They all seem to look just alike who was doing all this stuff. And I'm sitting here thinking, when you got your Keurig for Christmas, or you bought it from whenever you bought it for whatever, your birthday or whatever else, you already gave them that $100 to $400 for that Keurig. You do realize you already gave them that money. So by you sitting up here, I'm going to play golf because you took advertising dollars away from a show that I like, I am no longer going to use this product that I've already paid for and gave you the money to. Now let's think about that. Remember, I can say we want to talk about some nuance here. So let's think about that. So if I see John out there, and John is like, hey dude, hey, I need, hey, I'm doing something. I'm operating a new small business, whatever else. Give me $50. All right, cool. Here's $50. All right, here, I give you back this, this whatever, this widget, this budget, this button for you right there. All right, cool. I gave him the $50. He gave me the button, the widget, the whatever it is. So he says something I don't like there on the line. How am I hurting him by taking said widget? Thank you, Staples, for this little. But what are they losing by me taking this and damaging it? The only person who ends up having a problem with this, who's inconvenienced by this, who has anything else by this, is me, because I've already given them the money. So if you understand what boycotts are for, and you understand, and it's a real thing now, not just because you just want to flex and be sensitive on, and the snowflake and everything else they want to say, because your show, and if you don't know about the boycott Keurig and what it is I'll tell you real quick, they pulled behind the whole Roger Moore stuff with the child molester and predator that Roger Moore is. I don't care if he didn't insert, he was still hunting down young girls when he was over age. he set up here, that he went on Sean Hannity's show and said all this stuff, and they said, we don't want to be a part of this, so we're taking our money away from it. Again, they began to boycott his show because it did not reflect the value that they believed in. All right? So follow me here. Keurig is boycotting Hannity's show by pulling its money away. So people who have already given their money to Keurig are mad and destroying their own stuff, their own Keurig product that they've already paid for. And they're destroying it and getting rid of it. And they want people to join in damaging that. For one, I ain't damaging my Keurig. I don't even drink that much coffee, and this one's sitting in the kitchen right now. And I'd be damn if I sit up here and go, what? That thing was $300 or whatever it costs. You think I'm finna go outside and damage that for anything? It's already been paid for. That's mine now. That's my property. That's mine. It's nobody else's. That's mine. I am not getting ready to destroy that for you. But then I sit back and I'm sitting there thinking, okay, all right, yeah, you want to play golf with it? Hey, it's yours. You can do whatever you want with it. You're not hurting the company. You're not doing nothing but just going to be fiending for coffee on come Tuesday because you don't have no coffee maker, and you know you're not going to go back to getting the bowl and pouring hot water in it and everything else and dumping in some Folgers or some Sanka. So save all of them. Like, feeling, oh, now I don't remember. Do they still make Sanka? I don't care. Whatever. You know good and damn well that's not what you're getting ready to do. You know that. So one of two things will happen. You're going to go buy a new Keurig, which means now you will be giving them money, or you're going to ask for Christmas and let somebody else do it so you can kind of do your little filling loopholes. Or you're going to start always frequenting, the establishments and paying $6 and $7 for a cup of coffee now. But hey, to each their own. But I go back to this here, damaging your own property. And I start thinking about, because all this is connected, because like I said, there was a certain group of people who were doing this. I mean, whether you like Sean Hannity's show or not, that's neither here nor there. I don't care. There's a market for everybody. All right. Do I agree? I don't agree with him 97, maybe 98% of the time. That does not mean that he deserves to die, that he does not deserve to be able to have the right to say what he wants to say and do all that other kind of stuff. But he is not exempt from the repercussions of whatever it is he has to say. But, like I said, he made a decision, and he's paying for that based on advertising. Keurig boycotted. So then these people who've already given Keurig their money decided they want to boycott by destroying their own stuff. But then every time there were a group of people who happened to gather in the street somewhere, just gathering in the street, because somebody was killed, somebody was shot and left dead in the street for 4 hours, or because they're tired of the cops always treating them a certain way. And, just all this. And when a few people say, you know what, that CVS over there, y'all don't even let us, we can't even work there because of our zip code. But y'all are putting it over here in our neighborhood. Y'all got it over here in our neighborhood that we can't even work in. We're not allowed to work in. But you got all of this here. Forget that building. I'm finna burn it down. All right? Plus, y'all gonna get paid anyway. Y'all got insurance money. What do you think people said about those folks? Those people. How stupid could you be for burning your own stuff down? Remember all that? All of that. All of that. You're stupid. Oh, these animals. All of these different things. All of this stuff was said. There were all kinds of animals wrong and gross and horrible human beings and animals and savages and thugs that need to be put in jail. And this is why. And this is why. And every reason was given except, I wonder why they're doing this. So if you decide that you want to boycott Keurig because you don't like that a person who had their own money to spend, a company, but it's America, companies are people now, that they had their own money and said, you know what, we don't really agree with underage sex. we can't advertise on this show anymore. They didn't say they were pulling it from the network. They said they were pulling it from that show. Which means Fox doesn't really lose. Because the money's still coming to the network. They don't really lose. And as a side item, let's clear up something about how advertising works. All right. I'm in the business industry. I've been in business industry. I do a lot of training and teaching, coaching, and stuff like that. I have several jobs. It's like I'm Jamaican or something. Stereotype. It's like I'm Jamaican or something. I got like 12 jobs. All right. So when you're a company, what you do is you go to an advertising agency. Hey, we want to advertise our new whatever it is. I want to advertise, since everybody's a rapper nowadays. Let's just say that the guy had, cool, $1 million to spend on his stuff. He says, hey, I want to advertise. All right, how you want to advertise? How do you see a plan? And there's a group of people who get together and sit in a room and they come up with a plan for you. And kind of take your ideas and see where it is that you want to go and see what it is that you want to do. And they kind of put all that together. And once they put all that together, they kind of say, all right, this is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to market. All right, you're a pop trap artist. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of get you on a few of these different things that target a certain group of people who we know would do it. We want 13 to 18, and then we want 25 to 32, and we want females for the younger and males for the older. All right, just because that's how we want to market and we want to target at that. That agency then in turns gets that your advertising put in different places. You actually don't really go say, hey, I want to advertise on Sean Hannity's show, or hey, I want to advertise on BET's this particular show. They set it up. They call Comcast, they call Cox, they call, Time Warner, they'll call AT&T, whatever agency that they may use, that your advertising agency, whatever they have relationships with, they contact their people and they get it set up based on your budget. So if your budget's $100,000, if your budget's $1 million, they'll say, all right, all of these shows target these groups of people that you want, and that's how we put it together. That's what they do. So now that you know that that's what they do, you got to realize when Keurig places ads, they don't necessarily know it goes onto said show. They really can't monitor the 4,000 TV stations and all of the radio stations and everything else. They just know that they have a budget and they want to see the markup, the markings and the CSO. They want to see all of the stuff that shows what is a good investment of their marketing or advertising dollars. That's all they care about. That's it. So now you got a crash course. It's free of charge. Pass that along to other people. So when you watch and hear all this stuff, you know how it works. But anyway, so now these people, excuse me. So now these people are sitting here and they're wondering, okay, what can I do to prevent our stuff from being on something that's against our values? Keurig, I'm talking about. Keurig then goes, hey, we're advertising on this show. That doesn't fit our values. Let's pull from it. So now that you know all this and have all the nuance and the history behind all that extra stuff, now you sit back and you start to go back to these people, Jim and Bill and all these other folks who sit up here playing golf with their Keurig. And I sit back and I just really wonder, dude, what the hell is wrong with you? Are you just pouting and whining like a little spoiled 4-year-old? I mean, what's really going on with you? All right? Because remember, you're supposed to be all this and all everything, all swole up in the chest and everything else. But yet, as soon as a company that has the choice of doing what they want with their money, because your show wasn't canceled. Most of y'all fast forward through commercials anyway. You don't even give a damn about the commercials no way. 2, you already own the Keurig in order to do that. Now, I'm not saying that people should go to a store and start knocking Keurigs off the counters. Don't be at Walmart or Target and all that kind of stuff, end up in jail because you running up in there talking about F Keurig and knocking stuff off the shelf and stuff like that. Don't do that. But what I am saying is you have to be a special kind of idiot, a special kind of fool to sit up here and start destroying your own stuff because and keep in mind, I'm only using the words that you said. Because that's what you said, that the people who actually had a real reason, the people who were not being represented, the people who were out there taking a chance and doing all this other kind of stuff because they were at a point of despair. There was nothing else for the people of Ferguson and Baltimore and everywhere else to do. They had nothing else. They are at home and can't get justice. And you mad because a show doesn't have an advertising sponsor that you probably don't care much about anyway, because once you buy a Keurig, that's kind of it. You know, you don't buy one every week. It's not like you're shopping at, going to, Chick-fil-A every weekend or something like that. And you say, I'm cutting out my Chick-fil-A. All right, well, that's recurring dollars. This one here, you can buy, they sell pods that aren't even made from Keurig. All right, so all this extra little fly BS stuff that you're talking and stuff, it makes no sense. You're just being sensitive. And I want to know why. I would really like for someone to kind of come in and start saying, and tell me why they feel that doing that is a good thing to do. By destroying your own property is a great thing to do for something like that. I'd really want to see that. But we ain't going to get to that. Now, that leads me to more. How crazy are you? Do you actually approve of, 30-year-olds messing with 14-year-olds? That you would find it enough in you. There's enough rage in you. There's enough within you that you will sit up here and start to destroy your own stuff because somebody said they don't agree with a man messing with a child. Think about that. These are the things that, because it tells a lot where you stake your claim in life. Like whatever you decide to fight for tells a lot about you as a person. There's a lot in that based on you as a person. And if you decide that at that moment, that's where you want to stand. That's where you draw your line. How dare you sit up here and tell me that I can't watch a guy defend himself and say that he, if he did mess with little girls, he don't remember. But then again, why they coming now? And all this other kind of stuff. If you're okay with that, whether you believe it to be true or not, if you're okay with the idea, then there's something wrong with you. It's not something wrong with everybody else. It's not the liberal media, and none of all that extra stuff. It is something wrong with you if you feel that as a 27-year-old that, hey, you have to hear him out as to why he possibly did or did not mess with 14-year-old girls and a 16-year-old. Now, unless that's what you're into. Because I am a firm believer that anything that you participate in is something you will defend, whether it's wrong or right. Case in point, let's talk about drunk driving, right? Everybody hates drunk driving. Oh, we can't do drunk driving. It's so wrong. That man got on the freeway and killed all them people going the wrong direction. That's what we say. But what do we do every Friday, Saturday night? We talk about how lit it's going to be. I don't, because I don't drink. All right, yeah, I'm a squat like that. Okay, I don't drink. But all the people who do, man, it's going to be lit. They can't do nothing without alcohol. Like, they have no confidence in nothing else if there's no alcohol flowing. Like, they have to have alcohol flowing. All right? And we'll get into that another day, but that's how they feel. Like, I'm finna go out here and get towed up. Dude, it's going to be crazy. And every one of my friends, everybody I know has a story about, man, I don't even know how I made it home. Dude, I was so far gone, I don't even know how I got to the house. Dude, I woke up on the side of the road, fell asleep at the red light. So, which is it? Do you hate drunk driving? Or are you okay with it as long as you make it? Then it's just a funny story. Because see, we gotta pick and choose. We gotta pick one. All right, and I'm all fine if you pick one to decide that, hey, that's just what I want to do. I'm cool with that. If that's what you want to say, that's what you want to do, that's perfectly fine. But be that, stick to that, and then don't be upset when the consequences come, because there are consequences. And in that same instance, if you cool with a 27-year-old man messing with 14-year-old girls, say that. Say that exactly, so we know where you are, and then they can start checking you out and making sure. And if you've committed all these kind of same things that you are trying to excuse more for, then they know to come turn and look for you. I mean, it's that simple. Either you for underage sex or you're not. There's no nuance to that situation. I believe in nuance and everything, but there's no nuance. Now, if you 17 and she's 16 and the state law is 17, that's a whole different thing. If your birthday is at a weird time, so you turn 18 and she's still 16 for another, month and a half, those are different things. If she's 15, y'all went to school together and she's a little advanced, and y'all didn't realize y'all was in the same junior class together, but she only 15 and you 16, that's a different story. I'm not talking about those kind of things. I mean, you still gotta watch some of that stuff too, though. Or, and I'm talking about you're in a 21 and up establishment, and the girl over there you go holler at and talk to is in there too. You're assuming, hey, she's, 21, because we're in a 21 and up club. You didn't know that she, doing what she got to do with the bouncer to get up in there because she know it's lit up in there. You don't understand that. I'm not talking about those situations in terms of she's 17 or 16 inside of a 21 and up club. I'm talking about a dude who purposely and with intent know that a person is of a certain age and still goes for it. Why? Why are you trying to grow your own? Can't curse. Why are you trying to grow your own, future in-house? I didn't like when Tiger was red shirting his girl. I didn't like it with nobody. You know that these people are underage. You know that they are underage. All right? You know that they're underage. And that goes to everybody. You underage, all right? Underage, and know what's going on. Know what's going on. Then there's a problem. All right? There's a problem with that. I mean, let's see. What did it say? Did it 15 dating older college? I just don't get it. And it's not always, and I'm going to be honest, it's not always, this is where I'm probably going to piss off a few people. It is not always the man's fault. 95% of the time it's the man's fault. But every now and then, just like, saying on here, some people like older men. Some women just like older men. They go to places where they know older men are. They go there. They go to where older men are. And they're in there. And the dude's not trying to sit up here and be like, let me check your ID. They see if she look like, hey, she's in here. She kind of attracted to me. Or, hey, at least I feel like I can knock her off or something. Or whatever it is. Whatever it is. Then that's the woman's fault at that moment. That's the girl's fault. She's putting herself in a position. And I'm not talking about putting herself in a position by wearing tight clothes. Get out of here with all that extra BS. I'm talking about she's actively trying to go get something that technically is illegal. All right? And all guys and all women, does not act like this is only older guys and young women. Because, the double standard's there. We see these teachers all the time. Why this 30-year-old teacher messing around with this 14-year-old boy? What is it that 14-year-old boy can do for you? Now, it's a double standard. He's supposed to like that. Shoot. He got him an older chick. He supposed to, a teacher doing it? Oh, and she cute too? Shoot, I'd have been knocking off to, that's what we say. Not realizing that we're proactively taking part in that double standard. When a grown teacher messes with a underage boy or vice versa, it does not matter. It's still wrong. All right. Now, brings it back to the point. Now, if that's something that you're into, just be real about it. Say that's why you're destroying your Keurig and you're trying to boycott Keurig because, you 41 right now and your girl was 20. It's 20 right now. And y'all been together 5 years. Go on and say it. So everybody can see how crazy and nasty you really are. Just do it. Just come on out. Say, yeah, I was teaching back at the school, I was doing a little something. I know I graduated 4 years ago and all, but I saw her over there. She's big for her age. She grown. She know what she's doing. We like the same kind of music. Whatever little BS little excuse you can give. Go on, just say that. Just be real. Because when those people were out there protesting and boycotting for real, they had a reason. When Keurig said, I'm pulling my advertising dollars from this show, they had a reason. What's your reason? What is your reason? Besides the fact that politics is over anything, your judgment is clouded so much Your judgment is clouded so much that you only care about one thing and one thing only, and that is politics. And as long as there are R's in the front, you don't give a damn about nothing else. Then as a human being, you have a problem. All right? Or it's because you participate in that kind of stuff. You like it. That's your thing. That's your thing. And if that's your thing, be real and say that. So we know what kind of crazy buzz to put you in. All right? Because let's not act like that's not America's favorite pastime, putting people in boxes and compartments and stuff. But I just have two boxes. You're either on the right side or you're on the side, on the wrong side. That's it. Right or wrong. And you're wrong if you're a grown man trying to go after a young girl. Purposefully. I'm not talking about you was on Tinder and she was on Tinder and you swipe right and come to find out that you talk to her. She don't know nothing older than Hannah Montana. Like that's all she knows. Like that's the oldest she remember from childhood was Hannah Montana. Maybe I need to just, figure out something here. Maybe you were 9 when Hannah Montana was on. All right? Maybe you were 12 or 13 when Hannah Montana was on. If you weren't 18 when Hannah Montana was on, then there's probably a problem here. And those are some of the things that you gotta look at. All right? But, like I said again, these people boycotting because they agree. And if you agree, we don't need you voting. If you agree with underage anything, we don't need you voting. What you don't agree with next? Sending underage kids back to the coal mines? What's next? Making underage people work for free? What's next? That's what you care about. So, that's the end of that. Y'all want to chime in, please. Like I said again, I like to hear some extra, some of the people to call in and comment. Make sure you comment on this, talk about it. Let's get in a conversation about this here. All right, now, that goes for everybody. I see on here talking about Jay-Z and Beyonce. That goes for everybody. If that's your favorite, I don't give. Jay-Z is the greatest rapper as a whole of all time. Is he the best ever? That's debatable. Is he the greatest? Yes. No one has done more for the entirety of the culture than him. That's not just talking sales. We're not talking about just sales. We're talking about everything. Quotables, lines, business, and bringing other people on, introducing other aspects, style changes, trends, all that. He's done it all. And he's been consistent. Got to give it to him. All right? He's one of my favorites. Now, if he was red shirt and Beyonce, does not matter. He in the wrong too. Which is what it is. So, which brings us to the next thing before we get up out of here is Beyonce. I want to chat about this here because everybody, anybody who knows me knows I am not everybody knows I'm not a big Beyonce fan. Yes, I'm from the H. I know she's from the H. I have a story about everybody here. There's a story. I'll probably tell that at a later time. But, with Destiny's Child as a whole, nothing all graphic and all that kind of stuff, but I've gotten to meet all of them a whole bunch of times, got a whole bunch. But anyway, this is neither here nor there. I'm talking about now. She dropped a new song. Well, Eminem dropped a new song with her on it. And it led me to believe. I like the song. If you haven't heard Walk on Water, go listen to it now. It's a different type of song. It is not a typical rollout for Eminem, but I think this is on purpose. This is a plan. He is a very calculated man. He is one of the greatest lyricists of all time. You can't debate me on that one there. And the only reason why people don't want to give it to him is because he's white. Forget all that. That boy is sick. All right? He put stuff together in a way that no one else could. And if the God MC, Rakim, can say that he is the coldest, then that's what it is. All right? You ain't got to just take my word for it. Take the God MC, Rakim's words too. But I digress. Now, I'm not the huge Beyonce fan. I think a lot of the times it's because she just seems fake to me. It's just all an act. And that airy stare and smile and stuff like that, it just gets old to me. I don't get it. Can she sing? Yes. She entertains? Yes. I think she is the greatest entertainer as a whole. She's today's Janet Jackson. You can fight me if you want to, but you will lose. She is today's Janet Jackson. All right? She's not today's Whitney. She's today's Janet. And there's nothing wrong with that because Janet was the truth and still is. Janet, 40, 30 years in, still doing it. All right? We're up here arguing about her being at the Super Bowl, and she ain't dropped the album, a real album, in how many years? So think about that. All right? So when it comes to all of that other stuff, being today's Janet who could sing, dance, and couldn't act, that don't sound like Beyonce. I don't know what does. Because Beyonce can't act. All right? She only can act in her music videos because she only got to be on screen for 4 minutes. All right? She cannot act. And y'all know it. Don't let your stand ideology cloud your judgment. She can't act to save her life. She can sing, she can dance. Some of her songs are jamming, some are There's no stand power. She has, 3 songs overall that, that people say that's her staple, that's the catalog, that is it. Crazy in Love, Single Ladies. I mean, you can argue about the rest of them. She don't have those 10 songs that right now 9-year-olds know. They only know whatever mama played right now. But anyway, this is not a hate session for Beyonce. All the Beehive, don't come after me. I say this, I like this here. So it made me start thinking though about some collabs that I always want to hear. And I want to hear from y'all. What are some collaborations that y'all want to hear, that y'all would love to hear? I never thought I would hear Eminem and Beyonce. Now Eminem and Jay-Z, I'm ready for another one of those. But I was like, this was a good little mix. Her vocals sounded right. It sounded like a song that I expected her to have a verse on, actually. I was just like, damn, Beyonce gonna come with a verse on the end of this here. It's gonna be cool. That's what I thought. She didn't do it. That's all fine and dandy. She did the hook, she did the bridge, she did all that kind of stuff, and it sounded cool. And Eminem still kind of let me know, and it was a retrospective flow. But is it just me, or are we all still waiting on a song that I would like to hear with Beyonce in it? Is one with her and Rihanna. How come there hasn't been a Beyonce and Riri song yet? They can even do like The Boy Is Mine, like Monica and Brandy, do one of them kind of songs together. But they kind of go all going over Jay-Z. Oh, I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that like that. But you know what I'm saying? They can do something like that. Bam, call it a day. Because I think that, you're talking about 2 great entertainers. I kind of am a little bit more on the Rihanna side than the Beyonce side. I just think she's slightly, just barely, just a smidge better to me. But those are personal preferences. And I think that they should just go ahead and try it. I don't care about if they don't like each other. And plus, we don't know what's really going on. It may be because, Jay-Z might have had her first or something. We don't know what's going on. Beyonce probably made Jay wait a whole long time. And, Rihanna was coming up in that SOS phase and she was doing all that pop dance music and stuff like that. And he was like, hey, we out partying one day, he knocked off. And then she can always say, she always got on Beyonce, hey, I had him first. You just don't know. That might be it. That might just be what it is. Hey, she had him first. And every time Beyonce see Riri, that's all she think of is her making that face that she was making in that when she was trying to twerk video with some month video. She probably see that face every time she look at her. And everybody know, hey, probably had Rihanna first. And ain't nothing you can do about it. Right? Rihanna had it first. So anyway, but they still need to do a song together. I think that would be dope, not only for the culture, for R&B, for hip-hop, for everything. That would be just a good song. I start thinking about some other collabs. Now, 2 of my personal faves who probably won't get a whole lot of love, now because, they are a little dated. But these are still 2 of my favorites of all time. Redman and Ludacris. And that little stuff that they did that one time with that Future Thug song with Ghostface, that song was cool and all, but that don't count. I'm talking about them 2 getting in the studio and spazzing out. All right, and the only reason why I say they're a little dated is because they're older. Some of the references, I was jamming Redman, a freestyle, I'm talking about sick. I was just like, oh, dang. But then I started thinking about it. Unless you 30 plus, you ain't gonna catch some of these references. You can't catch some of these references when you 17. The only thing you've been listening to is Young Pump or whatever. Don't even get me started on that. Everybody's still trying to be called little or young something. As if you ain't gonna be old and big. But anyway, it was just a whole bunch of I wanted to hear. I want to hear them two just for grown folks, to get on there and just put. They ain't got to do a whole album together. They ain't got to do a whole album. Knock out 4 songs though. Just put 4 songs on there. Just put 4. Just 4. Just give me a good little mini EP of them just spazzing. It could be over other people's tracks. I don't care. I just want to hear them two together in the studio working on something. Don't be emailing the stuff over. Don't, hey, I dropped my vocals and I'm going to send you the files and everything else. You go ahead and put yours and send them back. Send them to my engineer. He going to go ahead and knock them out. Not that. I'm talking about in the studio together. Working. That's what I want to hear. Ludacris and Redman. And then outside of that, this is probably going to, I want to hear Taylor Swift over a Kanye West track. Hey. I guess sometimes I have a little inner, white person in me. I just want to hear that. I think that would be dope. Taylor Swift is a decent singer. She's a pretty good songwriter. I like her. She entertains me. I've never bought a Taylor Swift album. I've listened to a lot of her music only because it comes on all the time on something. Can't lie, Shake It Off wasn't that bad. And then also when they made Kendrick Lamar do the freestyle over it and he was able to do it, it just adds to it. That's all cool. I like that kind of stuff. That was a cool thing. It was real cool. I liked that. So, have those two. I want to hear Taylor Swift in the studio working with Kanye West on a track. They can have sex before or after, I don't care. You know what I'm saying? They can write about each other after, I don't care. You know what I'm saying? But I just think that would be dope. It would be awesome to hear, her, and not the new Kanye with, where he trying to EDM it up to death. I'm talking about the soulful mix that, that Monster, that, Click, that kind of there and before. So anything from up in that era and back. Not the Yeezus Kanye West, but, late registration Kanye West. That would be tight. I don't care what y'all say. That's going to be fly right there. Then, I started thinking about some other stuff now. The other one I already know. This is for all my white fans out there, because I'm quite sure some of y'all, unless you... Pink, who is the truth. I don't care what it is. Look, again, we can fight over that. Now, Pink, I jams hard. I rocks with Pink. Alright? And most of y'all won't know Pat Benatar, who was the first version of Pink beforehand. That bad girl rocker chick that kind of played by her own rules. And if you don't know who Pat Benatar is, do yourself a favor. You know the songs. You know the music. You just didn't know that's who that was. Alright, so all them rock anthems and stuff like that, or them with a girl singing, except for one, I Am the Warriors, which was jamming too, but that's Patti Smith, but I always used to get them confused. But anyway, if them two did a song together, like an old versus new, everybody's talking about this share and such and all this kind of, I want to hear Pink and Pat Benatar do a song together. Therefore, my little inner white fandom can come on out a little bit for that one there. I'm there for that. I don't care what y'all say. Remember, nuanced. We all are nuanced. They just make great music. I like them. And that was music. So what do y'all think? Who are some things that y'all want to hear? Tell me some of everything. I mean, we never going to get the Prince and MJ. That ain't going to happen, of course, since neither one of them are here. Outside of mashups, that ain't going to work. All right? But Prince and MJ would have been awesome to hear. And so I want to hear from y'all. What do y'all think? Make sure you put it in there. We're going to talk about this some more. Might even get some of my DJ friends to kind of put some mix-ups together, mashups together, see what we can come up with. So, how do I say this here? This is going to bring me to, since we're talking about mashups and stuff, I talked to her a little bit earlier about the whole boycott and stuff like that. And I'm going to sign off on this here. We're going to close this one out. But I do want to say one thing that really gets to me, all right? All of these rape allegations, all right? There's been a lot of rape allegations. There's been a lot of sexual assault allegations and a lot of sexual harassment allegations. One, people got to realize those are different things, all right? You got to understand, rape is not the same as sexual misconduct. This does not justify one another, but it's like there's a difference. Rape is the worst of all, at least to me. All right, sexual assault of a child is also right up there, the worst of all. All right, now knowing that sexual assault on a child and rape are the worst of all, I'm trying to figure out how's been so many allegations in Hollywood and politicians of rape and no arrests. People changed laws for Bill Cosby. And if he did it, then he deserves whatever comes to him. It does not negate my love for Bill Cosby and everything he's done. The Cosby Show, I have the whole entire series, and it's going to be in there. And I'll still play it. If it comes on TV, I'm still going to watch it. Does not negate the fact that if he was raping them women, he deserves whatever happens to him. Period. There is no buts or nothing else. We can have two different ideas on something. You can love an art and hate the person. And I don't hate Bill Cosby. He's done so much. I think he got kind of lost in walking those lines between his image and who he really is. And that causes that kind of stuff. But there were politicians who changed the law because of Bill Cosby. They changed the law. Hey, we're going to change the statute of limitations. We're going to do all this. There's the one in Pennsylvania staked his re-election bid on prosecuting Bill Cosby. His election. Think about that. Now, how ingrained and how deep is it into the people there that they voted for somebody solely so he could actually prosecute somebody? But have you seen all the stuff that Weinstein has done with him? Or Kevin Spacey, or all the rest of these people, and the numerous that are coming out. And don't get me wrong, I'm part of the whole Me Too as well too. It's not only women get assaulted, not only men get assaulted by men. It's not always only men that are aggressors. All right, it's women out there who are aggressors too. But all I want to know is, how come there are no charges anywhere? What are the charges? Not a single person can be arrested. Not a single one. Not a one. But they get to go to hotels that's disguised as, oh, I'm in rehab. Really? $55,000 to be in rehab that you're at this palatial estate. That's what you get. And then you wonder why people protest, boycott. Going back to that. But you wonder why. Now, tell me how is it this isn't an issue? This here is a problem. Not one single arrest, not a nothing. None of these trials, all of the stuff that's come out that people knew, that the police departments knew. Not just the people. It's one thing if, you're at your job and, you're over there and you've been, have sexual misconduct with Lisa. It's a whole nother thing when you sexually harassed Lisa, and an even worse thing when you sexually assaulted and raped Lisa. Those are different things. And that's a problem. That's a huge problem. How is it that not one charge? If nothing else, Weinstein had already been under investigation in New York and in LA, and not one charge. Even now, we're still trying to investigate. What are you investigating? What's left to investigate? I mean, hell, Meek Mill facing more than what these people are. Meek Mill had a dirty UA. Now, it's his fault. Shouldn't have had a dirty UA. He don't deserve 2 to 4 years. He don't. But he knew he couldn't be on weed, popping pills and smoking weed. All right? But there's not one charge for no one. Why? Maybe at the end of all this here, later on today, we may come out, and then you can come out and they'll say, oh yeah, this here happened. Maybe so. But as of right now, there are no charges. Why not? What makes them different? What makes Weinstein and all these other people so different as to where they can get a charge? And as much as I hate R. Kelly, at least he was charged. That's another thing. Black folks, man, if y'all don't get off of R. Kelly, why y'all keep making excuses for this dude? Forget R. Kelly. You can fill in your own word right there. All right? He is a child molester. All right? Period. And y'all know it. Just because he made the songs that was jamming when you was 14 and when you got knocked up or when you lost your virginity or whatever it is, it does not negate the fact that that's a crazy, sick dude. And quit making excuses for him. Alright? He's sick. He stopped making excuses. He coming to Houston in a couple months or something like that. I guarantee you one person won't be there. And I had 12 play and the R and all that kind of stuff. You know who won't be there? Me. So, all I gotta say is, no. And he needs to be locked up, but so do the rest of these people. Wise, Weinstein, Spacey. I'm saying their names because they're the biggest names. And I want to hear all that stuff. Well, Weinstein wasn't in front of the camera, so therefore, psychologically, people don't really know him and all this other kind of stuff. Nah, squash all that. Save all that. Making excuses. Why he gets to, because he's the one who pulls the strings. He's the money. He's the one behind all of this other stuff. So if he can do it, so when they say go to the top, that's why when Roger Ailes, before he died, no charges. Bill O'Reilly, how much money can you pay out to people? No charges. That's very weird to me. It's very weird. No charges. However you feel about OJ, he still kept getting charges. Now, he had no sexual misconduct. He running out like an idiot trying to steal his own stuff back instead of just, sending lawyers. He want to be gangster and stuff. He probably was listening to some Meek Mill. Got all hyped up. That was wrong, and all that and ran up in there. Don't tell him what happened. All I gotta say is, look where he got him. At what point will charges be presented? And what does it take for a rich white male to have charges brought against him? And don't be somebody that people like. And we can go into the nuance, and I think we'll have that for another topic. We don't really want to jump into it today. But yes, the only reason why a lot of that stuff, he was able to do so much of that stuff, is because it worked. Now, let's be real about it. The casting couch is not a secret. That has been known forever. That is the worst kept secret. And the reason why it's a casting couch and people know about it is because, like I said, the reason why people know about the casting couch is because it works. Most of these people in Hollywood, you gotta remember, entertainers as a whole. We talk about Drake and his old sensitive self, and all. Most entertainers are people who are very vain. There's a reason why they're entertainers. They're hard on themselves. They're usually outcasts. They weren't always the most popular, because everybody knows somebody who's better at rapping, better at sports, better at acting, but they're cool. They're too funny and everything else like that. They're much funnier than anybody you know. But they're cool people. So they don't have to drive. It's naturally for them. We talk about in sports and athletics all the time. In sports, why is it that Michael Jordan sucks as a coach? Because he was too great of a player. When you're excellent as a player, you can't coach other people because certain stuff is just in you. It's naturally there. And you can't get the words out to express it or motivate the next person. I did it. How come you can't do it? I did it. Well, damn it, you Jordan. I'm not Jordan. Kobe wasn't Kobe his first couple years. He had to turn into that. He was able to buy into some of that stuff. But when it comes to a lot of these entertainers, and I've met a whole bunch of them, they're all fragile people. They're all fragile. They usually were not the cool kids, because let's be real, if you were in drama in school, let's think about your high school. Usually, if they was in drama, how'd y'all feel about them? What y'all think about old buddy who's in drama? Alright? Oh, he gay, he this here, he's soft, he whack, man, he ain't had no parties. So when they began to excel and make it, they're already like tortured souls. Most of these rappers, we talk about DMX, that dude was a tortured soul. Look at his history. We talk about Drake, we talk about Kanye. All this stuff is there. You start looking at these actors and actresses, as fine as Halle Berry is, and she is the most, to me, that is it. That is the picture of why she can't stay married. What is wrong with her? Some of this stuff is on these people because of what they come from, where they are. They don't understand. Yeah, say Lil Wayne. Look at what happened with Lil Wayne. I mean, he was being molested in essence baby and them was giving him girls at 11 and stuff like that. That's not cool. That's not great for the development of your psychic self. That doesn't help you. That's more for the other person's pleasure. Look at that. Yeah, look at him. Go on. No, don't do that. Do this here for him. And they cheering it on and stuff like that. You don't know how to process that stuff. And then we wonder why these people turn to drugs. We wonder why they turn and do the stuff that they do. We wonder why they're that way. Well, in Hollywood, a lot of these people, they weren't cool people. Look at these dudes. Look at the people who keep getting... You notice it wasn't no Brad Pitt or nobody. It wasn't no George Clooney. Wasn't none of the real handsome guys and Denzel and all that kind of thing. You notice nobody saying nothing about them. They ain't saying nothing about some of these fine women who was up there doing the stuff either. Because this goes into the nuance. And I said I was going to talk about this another day. We'll talk about it a little bit right now. It's not always sexual harassment if you like the person doing it. I said it. If you attracted to that person, you think it's cool, they can say all kinds of they can say whatever they want to say. They can do all that little extra stuff, and it's all cool. But when the Roger Ailes looking, or the Harvey one, a fat dude with one eye like this and can't look, and when he come waddling his big old swole behind up to you, I'm like, ugh, get your behind away from me. Oh, girl, come on. Come on, girl. And then pulling your schlong out in front of people. Like, who does it? Like, I've never understood that. All right, maybe it's just me. I thought I was kind of, out there a little bit when it came to, some liberties in the bedroom and stuff like that. But where is the staring at a person in the eyes while you jack off? I'm going to do this and look at you dead in your eyes. You're going to watch me, woman. Like, what is that? I don't get that. Like, where did that come from? And why is it so rampant that that's what they all do? Especially when most of them are rich and powerful, and we know a lot of women love rich and powerful men. They would give it to them freely. Or they'll give it to them for a Birkin bag. Or they'll give it to them for tickets to Taylor Swift concert, Jay-Z concert. Or they'll give it to them for all this other kind of stuff. There are a lot of women who say, hey, look, whatever it takes by any means necessary, I'm getting that part. And they will freely give it up to you, your whole crew, all of them, and won't think nothing about it, and will argue and cut a chick who tried to say she was a hoe or something. She gonna do what she gotta do because she got mouths to feed, hers. And if it meant that she gotta take a few inside of her mouth to do it, she's gonna do that. All right. So knowing that all that's already out there and available, why are you sitting up here? Why are you sitting up here staring at women and rubbing the stuff and ejaculating all in the potted plants and rubbing up against them and making them sit there and watch you? Where is that? Like, that's something else. One of my favorites, Louis C.K. And he was one of the first ones to come out and say, you know what, I did it. And I was wrong. And this is why I did it. I respect him for that. Even though there was some people, I had to kind of go through it with a bunch of people on Twitter and stuff behind, well, he didn't say I'm sorry. Really? So the words I'm sorry are more important than, hey, I was wrong, this is what I did, this is why I did it, and I'm going to change this. So you rather just have the fake I'm sorry and then they'll go, oh, we can walk on now. No, that's not repentance. That's not what change is about. It's not none of that. You got to be able to, change is just that. You got to be able to honestly, sincerely from within recognize what you did as being wrong and then doing something about it. And he did that. Still a creep. You still don't negate him from all the stuff he did. Still sexual misconduct. And if charges were filed, I would say, man, that sucks. I really like Suez. What? I'm not getting his new special? Damn it, that sucks. But hey, shouldn't have did what he did. And we'll keep on going. Just because I like someone does not mean that they are deserving of anything outside of whatever is coming to them. But I'm still just, again, like I said, I'm wondering how come no charges have been filed for no one in Hollywood or these politicians? How is it that they keep getting away with all of it? How is that possible? How are they able to still keep getting away with that? And then again, especially when you know that the casting couch and all this other kind of stuff is available to you. You can buy hookers. Don't act like LA not full of porn stars and hookers already. And if they screwing on tape for $6,000, do you know what you can do when you worth $100 million? You ain't even got to pay. It's just like with everything else. When you when you make $100,000 a year, you still got to pay for stuff. You walk into, and you can go to that restaurant all the time. Yeah, you may get a better table. You still got to pay for your food. But when you're insert name of celebrity here, and you worth 50 million, 100 million, 500 million, you don't pay for nothing. Do you think they really got to pay for these women? They have handlers. They'll send a handler out, bring back some chicks who are freely ready to go. I'm at the Jay-Z concert the other day. Guess what they did? Hey, you right here, y'all want to come up front? And guess what these girls did? Yeah. And guess what some of them are probably going to say yeah to? I'm not saying all. That does not mean all women. It doesn't even mean women deserve to be treated any less than. But for the sake of equality, I believe that when it comes to equality, women are allowed to be as free with their body as they want to be, as long as it's what they want. But that does not negate the fact that it is what it is. You're not going to be exempt from getting a dragging that everybody else would. It's not how it goes. It's just not how it goes. So guess what? You go out there with hoish tendencies and you get hoe results. Don't be mad at it. But then these dudes, just because the girls out there and possess hoish tendencies and did hoish stuff for somebody else, don't mean it's good for you. Just because she could do whatever, she could be on camera with 5 dudes taking it every which way. When you meet her, you have no right to say anything to her about any of that kind of stuff in a sexual manner, because it does not matter. She ain't doing it to you. You don't get free reign just because that's what she did to somebody else. All right? But there are women who will allow you to have all that free reign that you want. Go find them. Have fun with them. Or, since you've been the social outcast your whole life and you wasn't cool in high school, like most of these people, they weren't cool then. They were popular with the Glee Club or whatever little this or that, but they weren't popular. They wasn't popping in school. They wasn't what's happening. They ain't never had no money, or they had their daddy's money and now they finally got their own money. They ain't ever been told no. Now they really not told no. Now they got all this access and everything else, and now they out there trying to go ahead and flex and everything else, and you must not know who I am. This is some of the stuff these man was saying on video, on audio, and some of the things that they say. And I won't tell them, I got a script for I can do this here. They're throwing stuff at them. Like, same way that these, when it was hot in hip-hop to say it ain't tricking if you got it. Yes, it was. But the same way it was up there throwing stuff. I buy your bag. Yeah. Oh, he can't do nothing for you? I buy your car. He can't do nothing for you? That comes from a place of weakness. Man, you're a simp. You lame. You don't have nothing else to offer. That's why you want somebody else's woman, because that's the part that helps your ego. But you got to pay for it. So you got to do all this extra stuff to try to make yourself feel like your chest way out here and everything else, when really you just whack. And you know it. So that's why you got to go get drunk, get high, and get pills, whatever else, so therefore you can try to redo this whole thing again tomorrow. Because you are just not what you think you are. You are whack. All right? That's what you are. And I said, rape culture is there. We live in rape culture. We live in a hypocrisized rape culture, like I said earlier. Rape, we don't get upset when it's an older woman messing with a younger man. But we get upset in everything else. So it's either wrong or it's not. It either is or it isn't. I say it is. I'm not going to make excuses for it. Does that mean I was exempt from everything? That I'm not at the Kappa Beach party and you see somebody walk by and everybody grabbing on her behind? I kind of was never that one who I'm going to reach out and touch a woman like that, because I was always scared of a rape charge. I was always like that. I was like, look, I'm finna, nope. You ain't finna sit up here and say I did nothing to you. Because I came from where people, again, from neighborhood. I'm from the hood where people went to jail. All right? So you could be caught up for any little thing. If somebody mentions your name, and I'm dark skinned too, I'm going to jail. I ain't had wavy hair. I ain't none of these old whatever else. I was going to jail. So therefore, I wasn't going to get myself in no kind of trouble to where I had to face my mama. No. Oh, no. Shirley ain't coming to, nope. No, not at all. But, like I said, I'm a little pissed off. These people ain't getting no charges. You know, how come we're not getting any charges? And on top of that, don't act like y'all didn't know about what was going on when this whole secret of the casting couch and rape code, everything was already known. Y'all been hearing these stories about homosexuality, and I'm not saying wrong homosexuality. I'm not talking about a person who's just gay. I'm talking about where men are preying on other men who are underage in that form and and doing active things in that realm to people who aren't. I'm talking about rape. You're also talking about pedophilia, people who prey on underage girls or boys who look young, people who look underage. I'm talking about that kind of homosexuality, pedophilia, and sexual assault on children. I'm talking about that. And then I'm talking about after you move from that to where you sexual assault other people. I'm not talking about sexual misconduct. I'm not talking about, hey girl, come on, you at work. You know what I'm saying? You at work, you thinking because you cool with all these people over here, because Lisa and Kim and all of them let you talk to them kind of any kind of way. But they know you know it's all simple. But then all of a sudden, Nikki comes in here. She fine, she bad. So now all of a sudden you're looking at her, you're like, I gotta go say something to that. So if you walk up to him and be like, hey, look, my name is Jay. I just want to introduce myself to you and let you know that I do find you attractive. I do want to sit up here and take the time, probably get to know you a little bit better over lunch or something. If you're interested, let's do it. Next week sometime, I want to let you get settled in, so let's do next week. She says, no, we can't do that. All right, cool. That's not misconduct. All right? You shot your shot. You can shoot your shot again. All right? But if she's telling you no, you don't need a reason. It could be because she's married, she's dating somebody, she's just not interested, she's at a different point in her life, she gay, she just don't like you, you don't look like her type. It could be she don't mix business work where she work at. It could be anything. It can be, none of it matters to you. Who are you to where it has to matter to you? It has to be that important to you. But if you shoot your shot again and you keep being a little persistent, that's annoying. You're starting to go into creep territory. But that's something different. But when you start touching her on the behind, when you grab her by her arm, when you corner her in the break room, when you start saying, or you're her supervisor, that's all kinds of wrong. But if you up there grabbing her or you tell her, hey, look, I know a little something, you come over here, come go out with me, and I'll do this here and get you into this next spot, or evaluation for raises are coming up, I'm just saying, come holler at your boy real quick. I can make some things happen, but you got to meet me out. Now you crossing the line. And I'd be damned if we got to even have a conversation as to grabbing a woman and forcing her somewhere, rubbing up against her, or pulling your, like Tiffany had it, show your thing got all on. Then there's another problem. You deserve every single wrong that's coming to you. You deserve everything that is wrong coming to you. And I just don't understand why we have to even, why is that even something to even talk about? Like, why is that even an option? Like, how is it that we're even discussing that? I just don't get it. I just do not get it. I just don't understand why that's even something that would have to even be discussed as to why did this here happen? Why do I have to explain that that's wrong? Why do I have to explain that that's wrong? But anyway, all right, let's get up out of here. I thank y'all for taking the time to, listen with me and comment and humor with me and everything else. But I'm never going to end one without talking about something positive. And excuse me for not having all of the full details. I meant to write it down, but I heard a great story and I thought that this was something that was just awesome. So for those that don't know, I'm here in Houston, live in Houston. All right. And there was a story of a homeless man, who found a check. All right, he found a check for $10,000. All right, 10 grand, and he returned it to the owner. You're not understanding how awesome that is. A homeless man. Think about that. Think about that wholly. All right, and how good. Now, I'm in Houston. That doesn't mean it happened here in Houston. I'm just letting everybody know. But I was watching the local news here in Houston. But I saw that on the news here, and it was talking about it. And I think the I don't remember the man's name. I do know Elmer Alvarez. Yeah, I think that was his name. Elmer Alvarez. You know, we always hear all these bad stories about people with last names like Alvarez and Gomez and stuff like that from a certain group of people. But we'll leave that alone. But Elmer Alvarez found a check for 10 grand. All right. And it was in New Haven, Connecticut. $10,000. He's homeless. Do you know what $10,000 can do for somebody? It doesn't mean that he's automatically going to be able to cash it or whatever else. But just there are ways to get around some stuff. All right? If he wanted to. But he found $10,000. And he was like, he had to find out who it belongs to. And he got it to the owner. And he didn't do it with the hopes of getting something back. He did it because there are good humans. We hear so much about all of the bad stuff that people do and all of the wrong, but that's all minor. All that is very, very minuscule in the grand scheme of things. 90% of the people are just normal, average, everyday, good people who want to go on with their lives. And yet we always want to argue about the 5% who are, you know, horrible human beings, or the other 5% that are questionable people. Now, we know circumstances can push anybody over certain edges, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about just the overall average, everyday, just people. We are good people. And you got to remember that. We are good people. And this man returned a check for 10 grand. Just think about it right now, what you would do with 10 grand. I mean, you know, bills, anything. That bank better not accidentally put 10 grand in my account. All I got to say is, I don't care what's in there. That 10 grand getting used. That's mine. But anyway, let's be, you know, there's so many good people out here who do things. And this is a time I want to take to make sure that he may never see this here. You know, no one may ever come and say it. But if you happen to be in New Haven, Connecticut, and run across Elmer Alvarez, if nothing else, say thank you or buy the man something to eat. If nothing else, he deserves that. Help him with something. And if you really are out there and you really want to help him and do what humans can do and pay this forward, get a man a job. Let's do that. Let's help out society. Because this man, you don't know what that money was for. That money could have been for anything. That could have been for medical. It could have been for anything. It could have been for a medical thing. It could have been all of the money that they made at their business. It could have been anything. You just don't know. Just because a person has a $10,000 check does not necessarily mean that they are rolling in money and this person just brought it back to them. It could have been that could have been a gift so they could buy their first home. You don't know. And that was the only money they had, that $10,000 to put in towards to buying a home. And this man did the right thing. So let's celebrate this man right now. If I had a round of applause, little buttons and stuff, I would do that. But I don't. So in closing, all I want to say though is, you know, stay up. Remember, life is about nuance and balance. And let's look at the whole situation before you jump to conclusions. And if nothing else, be memorable. All right, y'all. Have a good one.